My name is Carly Kane, and my memories are they found a lot of my secrets, things that mostly my friends don't know. A lot of sadness, hilarity, good times, and I revealed too much, and my fly was down the entire time. You better believe if you listen to this, you're going to know more about me than anyone else does.
Perfect.
We are back potting. Another episode of Callbacks with my friend Sam.
Oh, we're friends now? I just thought you've been exploiting me this whole time.
Yes, this is blaxploitation, but in the inverse. We shouldn't start with race every single episode, but I feel like we do.
You know, sometimes you just gotta. But yeah, podcasting. Hello, is this thing on?
Is this thing on, brother?
I don't know how to podcast clearly. Callbacks episode.
Blankety
You
blank.
figure it out. We say that every episode. We probably should stop. But welcome to another episode of Callbacks.
I'm excited. Hopefully you're listening to this in your car or you're maybe at home.
I hope you're watching this on YouTube in your car while driving.
Yeah, watch it. Use multiple things. So like watch it on YouTube, but then also play it on Apple.
Get in a car
also,
accident.
Yeah, and then have your computer on the passenger seat and have Spotify playing.
That'd be perfect. And it's a great way to spread it because you watch the YouTube while you're driving, you get in a car accident, the people you hit are like, wow, like there's no way you should have hit me. Why'd you hit me? Oh, this incredible podcast. You should check it out. And then the person you hit is like, well, now I need to see that.
Facts.
And that's how we grow.
Yeah, that's called marketing 101. We should start a masterclass.
Look it up. Masterclass is a scam. I had one. Yeah.
You did one for real?
No, I signed up for free just because you could. Over the pandemic, everything was free. I was like, why not? And so many people were like, hey, Steve Martin does a stand-up comedy one you should look at. And I'm like, I'm good. Or there's a Steph Curry basketball one. It's like, if you don't know how to play basketball, watching a video is not.
That's a good bag, though. If you're famous, get a bag. Like, your manager hit you up, like, yo, you want to do a master? You just pull up for like 2 days of shooting, maybe, and get like a nice...
Great bag.
You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be like really even that helpful. They probably write half of it for you anyway.
Bro, I'm a sellout. Okay, I take brand partnership deals from companies that I'm like that I think are great. That I think are great companies if they're listening.
Yeah. Shout out to mental health. Shout out to being.
Before we get into our guest today, you know, let's do a little check-in, Danny. How we doing this week? Anything?
The podcast answer or the real answer?
Give it to us both ways. Ooh, juicy alert.
No, I'm miserable, but no, I mean, you saw the couple emails I got before we started recording today, so that's fire. The business that we're in, which is comedy and or entertainment, is one of the most insane things. When you think about it, it's crazy. Like
a lot more no's than yeses.
A lot more no's than yeses. Days and even months without getting yeses. And even when you get the yeses, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to affect you financially even.
Yeah, you're being a real tease right now. Are we just saying we got exciting emails or that's what we're leaving it at?
Yeah. I mean, because it's nothing.
Ooh, I guess you'll have to keep on tuning into our podcast to find out what happens with this exciting.
Next time on Callbacks, does Danny become some famous rich comedian or does he fall into a binge of rage and alcoholism?
Probably both.
Right. Yeah. If I'm doing it right, probably, yeah. If I'm doing it right, probably both.
All the greats done both. That's exciting. Yeah, but yeah, this industry has a way of keeping you down.
Yeah, so I got some decent news from that, and then other than that, bro, what's up with you? What's up in teacher land?
Teacher land, man, teacher land is crazy. I have a lot of students that love me, a lot of students that don't like me, but it's usually in very normal ways that they express that. But today I had this girl try to be in my class that did not belong in my class. And I told her, like, hey, you're not on this roster. You can't be in here. She was very upset by that. It escalated to a point I had to get an assistant principal to remove her from the class.
Damn, so you didn't have the fucking arms to be like, get the fuck out.
No respect. And I get the assistant principal, and in front of the assistant principal, as she's being like escorted out of the room, she turns and looks at me and goes, nobody likes you here. I hate your clothes. You need a haircut. Fuck you.
Yes. We need to get these kids guessing on the podcast.
Bro, and go ahead.
No, we just need these kids. These kids that roast you, we should have them on, like, just to know, like, what's the inside scoop? Like, did you really feel this way? Was it the specific outfit that you didn't like about Mr. Sleeves?
Dude, she was mad. And honest, I'll be honest with our podcast listeners. You know, I make social media videos like, oh, this funny thing happened at school. Every once in a while, you heighten it a little bit to make it, like, really stick. That it was 100%
Nice.
a direct quote.
Nice.
And she said it with venom. Nobody likes you here. I hate you. You need a haircut.
Because even as an adult, you got to think like, damn, these kids really talking about me? Like, they don't fuck. Are you worried about them actually? Our guest is here, sorry. Are you worried about them actually liking you or was...
I mean, I don't, like, I hope that they feel, like, safe and welcome when I'm a teacher. I don't need them to be my best friend, but, like, I mean, you really got to not like somebody to, nobody likes you, you need a haircut, I hate your clothes, fuck you. I was like,
that's
I didn't know how to respond. I honestly, like, I just blurted out, like, you sound like the voice inside my head. Like, I don't know. And the craziest thing is, this was in front of the assistant principal, and all the assistant principal did was say, oh, don't be a hater.
Towards you.
No, to her. That was his, like, this is, people get mad, like, why do kids act this way? It's like, because us millennials are just like, sis, that is so not the vibe. Don't be a hater. Bro, a student just cussed me out and came for my life, and all the assistant principal, oh, don't be a hater.
She don't get paid enough to really care about your feelings. Yeah, I want enough clout to, like, sway people.
You want to spread lies?
Maybe not lies. Maybe have a redemption arc where I bring it back. Like, I was just playing, y'all. But I need enough clout to be like, yeah, we don't really believe in, bathtubs anymore, and to see where people go with it.
We don't believe in bathtubs is such an odd, mundane thing to make a controversy.
You don't want to make it.
No, that's incredible.
You don't want to make it bad. You don't want to make it like really like vaccines. It's like, yeah, we know bathtubs are
the big government's trying to make you put bathtubs in your house.
Exactly, and I guarantee I could get at least 100 men to be like, all right, bro.
This is perfect. Leads me to a new segment I want to do called "That's Enough Internet for the Day."
We all have been there before.
Where you just see something on the internet that makes you say, "I'm closing my apps. That is enough internet for the day."
Do not disturb.
Yeah, like Danny's always trying to get me to talk about race. So here we go. Here we go.
It's important.
In one of my videos, I'm a teacher. In one of my videos, I referred to a group of students who were all of Mexican heritage as Mexican.
Wow. How'd you know? Did you know for sure? Or you just
yes, these trust me. And this person commented on this white man commented on my video. Wow, Mexican, not Latinx or Hispanic, and you call yourself a quote teacher. Wow. And I just want to say, if you think
the hands, whenever time someone does a hand, they're about to say something toxic.
Welcome to my news channel show. I just want to say, if you think me calling people of Mexican descent Mexican is racist and problematic, you're the racist one. They're from Mexico.
Yeah, it's like people saying, it's like being mad at someone being called. If you're calling a black person like African American or whatever, it's like. I'm not I don't know. It's like, I don't know what I was trying to say. But it's like overcompensating what you're calling somebody. Like, as a black person, you can call me black. I don't really identify with, like, African Americans. There's white people in Africa that, like, Elon Musk, is he African American? Like, it's not.
Right.
You can call me black. I'm from Africa. Your people took me from Africa, so I don't really know specifically. I know. I'm sorry. I brought it back on you. But our people don't really know where we're from. So it's like, call me black. I'm not offended by someone calling me black. Oh, they're African Americans. Like, no, I'm black.
Isn't it offensive when they're like, you're black.
Right,
and you're like, why'd you put some weirdness on that?
Yeah, don't call me colored. You know,
and that's what I mean. These people, that's what they acted like I'd said that when it's like, you're mad at me for calling people from Mexico Mexican, who that's what they want to identify as. That's
kind of toxic for you to act like Mexican is a bad derogatory term.
Yes, they're the toxic. Wow, you called them Mexican? Yeah, you're the racist one in that situation, commenter. So that commenter got under my skin, and my other one, I always read the comments, and they say you shouldn't. I do. If someone gives me a hate comment, I have to know who they are.
Nice.
And this woman commented, like, she was just completely hating on me, telling me I'm a bad person, and I clicked on her profile, and her Instagram bio was, I try my best to be a godly woman. The problem is I want to be a thug too. And this is a white woman from the South.
If the thing is, if that was an old black lady that said that, I actually would love to meet her.
I would respect that. But not someone who has the let me speak to your manager haircut.
What is that haircut? Because is that like I have mixed kids, single mom haircut, or is it a different haircut?
The let me speak to your manager. You haven't seen those memes? The let me speak to your manager haircut is like the white woman with like
swoosh
bangs, and one side's a little shorter than the other.
That's the same cut though I'm talking about. So that same cut is the same cut, the white girl with the mixed kids. that, you know what I'm saying, likes black dudes. I was going to say the N-word, but I'm trying to get us famous. So I'm trying to
You're the one who can say it. Go for it.
niggas. She likes niggas. And that's the same girl. The same haircut, at least.
I mean,
She transitioned from calling, like, she used to specifically like niggas. And she's kind of like grown up a little bit and become more chill and whatever. And like, you know, she has 2 kids. But now she's like, okay, now I'm just going to call the manager and like, I got a little bit of money. My kids are grown. My son's about to be, you know, Blake Griffin. So I'm chilling. And now I have a little bit more clout. Now I can call the manager up and say my filet mignon's wrong because my son is Klay Thompson.
He's got that first round pick money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Those are just the 2 situations that I said, you know what? That's enough internet for me today. Those are pretty personal. I don't know. Have you had any of those moments lately?
Not really. I just in general get annoyed by Twitter and people complaining about media.
Yeah.
This probably won't release exactly after, but I'll try to make it broad. After award shows or after, say, Super Bowl halftime stuff.
Right.
Like the Rihanna stuff. Like, it's kind of annoying when people are just like, oh, that was bad or that wasn't good enough. It's like, why can't we just enjoy good enough?
Right.
Like, everything doesn't have to be, you know, up and to the right with every single thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes just seeing a person perform and make slaps or perform their slaps is good enough for me.
Right. Yeah, like, sure, if you, not to get too specific, but like the Super Bowl halftime show, like Rihanna, if you didn't sit there and at least think, wow, she has a catalog of hits.
Right.
Just be appreciative.
It visually looked dope.
She's out here,
slaps.
and she's out here giving it her all pregnant.
Right. So it's just like, it kind of bothers me when people are like, I don't really like her. It's like, what you want her to do? Like swoop in on a fighter jet, dance on a wing, and like Tom Cruise on Mission Impossible? It's like, dog.
Unveil her 23andMe.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, let's get into today's podcast.
Yeah, we got an exciting guest. No more wasting time.
Yes. Why? Okay.
I didn't know. My bad. And actually, what was worse is I did a whole segment. I was like, dates you should know, and I like gave up like really easy like history. I was like, July 4th, 1776. This like 3 in a row that he got super easy, and then I gave that to. He's like, I don't know. It's like, wow, you idiot. Like, it was just such asshole.
It was good. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Callbacks. I think we already did the intro, but we're here with our great friend.
At this.
Yeah, dude, I am. We're here with one of our great friends in the whole entire world. You have a very special intro.
We love to give an official intro. So our guest,
second to blush.
I love it.
Why not? Our guest today was named to NBC Universal's Breakout Comedy Festival. Can be seen performing at some of the top comedy clubs in the country, like the Laugh Factory and Zanies, and often goes viral for her unique yet relatable observations on life. She produces the popular live show The Big One here in LA.
Yeah.
She auditioned for American Idol at 15 by singing Amy Winehouse's You Know I'm No Good.
How do you fucking know this? I want to die.
And allegedly believed in the Tooth Fairy until she was 13 years old.
Ooh. Toxic.
We're excited to have the absurdly funny Carly Kane on the pod. Welcome to Callbacks, Carly.
What's up? Thanks for having me, guys.
We're so grateful you're here.
I'm good. It's crazy, like, hearing about yourself. It's so uncomfortable.
It's good, though.
I have to work on that.
Yeah, if we're gonna make it in this business, I think we have to perfect the fake, like, oh, you don't have to, but like, love it. Like the other award shows, like, I didn't think I was gonna win. You know, like, oh, I had no idea. Then they have like 4 paragraphs. Like, I want to thank each and every person I've ever talked to. It's like, you knew you was gonna fucking win this.
Yeah, your manager's actively been spending $1 million on a marketing campaign to get you on interviews.
Right.
Yeah, you've already been prepped by PR.
You've done 7 different late night show spots promoting it. Like,
when you understand the business of entertainment, it like ruins it a little bit for it, because it's like, oh, okay, bro, you really knew you were gonna win this.
yeah, before I came to LA, I thought it was like, oh, this is like the best album. And then I find out like, oh, there's like millions of dollars, like billboards being bought and like
Facts.
all that stuff. So
It's the game.
anyway, Carly, very funny comedian. And it kind of seems from my deep dive, you've always just been a funny person, from being voted class clown in high school along with Grant Stopper Rich.
Where's Grant at? You think Grant, is he cool?
Grant, Listen, Grant, if you're watching, you're a nice guy. He can play piano, but he's not vaccinated. So.
Oh, that's classic.
Yeah.
That's classic Philly
We're-
suburbs.
Yeah, suburbs. Yeah, and we're he has his home address tattooed on him, which I
Why?
think is
Because he passes out a lot,
You
or
won't get the vaccine, but and he will probably watch this. I feel like all my high school friends, like I know they like talk about me, and that sounds like, but because I'm not really close with any of them anymore.
Yeah.
Like I know they'll be like, Carly.
She's so good.
you're like the interesting
Yeah.
person off in entertainment in
No,
LA.
they're all pretty interesting, and I have a lot of love for Grant as, but yeah, I don't think we relate on much these days. That makes
100%.
sense.
Reasonable.
The class clown in high school is where it ended.
Honestly, we were friends for a while. But last time I saw him, we got in like a heated argument about,
Rights.
everything.
Human rights.
Yeah.
I like to bring up bad blood just to start the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, we actually brought it. Grant, come on in. Why
No,
don't
you're a
you?
good guy. You're a good guy. I have no stakes in this. But
Big G. Problematic.
he's a hot
G.
guy. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, that's what's up. Shout out.
Really good at piano.
He can play piano and he's hot.
And doesn't that matter over politics?
Why'd you get?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Why'd you get class clown? What were your? Because you're how you talk about class clown is kind of self-deprecating. Class clown, also known as students desperate for attention who started smoking pot before puberty, hated by all faculty except for their ceramics teacher.
Is that a caption? That's a
Yeah.
wow.
Thank you. I really worked hard on that caption.
That's a great caption.
Yeah.
Kind of a heater, low key.
Thank you. I was desperate for attention. I would do anything in high school. Like I was in a really bad place mentally as well. But I would do things like, all right, I'm gonna be fully transparent. I would put tampons in my butt for attention. Literally, I was like
Whoa.
a really out there kid. So just
Wow.
kind of it was what's going on at home,
Yeah.
but yeah, and
People laugh. Like, they're like, oh, like that's like, oh, this is funny.
I'd do any dare. I'd
You don't say no to people.
I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
And I won it in 9th grade, and then I run it again senior year. But I had like dropped out of high school at that point, and I still won it. So that was kind of a.
You just come back like
I
at the
did.
award show, like
Yeah.
I'm back, motherfuckers.
I did end up walking at graduation, but yeah, I hadn't been in school for like 6 months, and I just came back for the picture of class clown. That's it.
You left a mark on those kids.
I guess so.
That's kind of fire. That's a nice like fucking curtain call. Like I'm back.
Yeah, it was. I would do like I remember I had like a choir teacher who was like, "You're so funny." Like he would have me do like stand-up sets to kind of like open our choir class.
Warm
He
up
really-
the room.
Yeah, he really like believed in me. I would make little sketches and but yeah, now he's in jail for being a pedophile. So
Damn.
and don't meet your heroes,
Mhm.
But that's why I started doing stand-up. He really inspired me. So it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a complicated.
Complicated thing.
That is a complicated thing. Danny was.
It's a lot in the first 5 minutes.
I know. Sorry. I'm like.
But it sounds like all the class clown stuff you were doing was like at your expense. It's not like you were because there's a lot of classic class
Yeah.
clowns. Probably Danny when he won it, who was like, "I'm just gonna."
You won it too? Did you two? All both of you?
Junior high. I went to junior high, so it wasn't as official in high school. But I wasn't. I didn't get in trouble in school though. I
What
was
was
a good
your
kid.
like class clown?
I just would like this beef. I would roast people like at like sanctioned events, like lunch. I would
At
roast.
sanctioned events. What does that even mean?
At lunch you roast.
It was a
people.
lunch sanctioned me bullying.
Yeah,
them.
you're not gonna roast like kids like in class. Like, oh, look at this ugly ass teacher. Like they do you. I would roast other kids like, after they eat. Like, oh, there's no shoes, whatever. Every day.
So he was a bully.
N-
Yes.
yes.
Like if you are winning class clown,
Yeah.
you're like a beloved bully though. People are like
right. People, but yeah.
people are like, make fun of me, Like, they like want it. They ask for it.
Right. It's like a
Yeah.
You were into roasting. Did you ever roast teachers?
No. I was a good kid. I never got ISS. Never got like in school or out of school suspension. I never got in trouble.
You charmer.
Yeah, just
I like how you say class clowns are people who like people liking bullied by. Like you're just great at gaslighting. You just
Yeah.
gaslighting. No, but this is a good time.
Right.
I'm coming for your life, but this is so fun. We're all having such a great time.
back then in high school. What was was your thing like the theater, or what was the thing that like kept you going?
I mean,
I was kind of like infiltrating all groups.
okay,
Like I think I was popular in high school.
Okay.
But I was like friends with everyone. Like I did theater.
yeah.
I'd eat in the bathroom with the cutters, because I did it too sometimes. I was in middle
Nice.
school. But, I really was all around, like in the good and bad ways. I played field hockey and softball.
Damn.
Did a little theater.
I was in the plays, yeah.
Right. I mean, you're singing Amy Winehouse for an American Idol audition.
I can't believe that is.
So you really did it? Like the regional joints? Like the regional American Idol?
Yeah.
How far did you get?
No, I didn't make it even past the first round.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, it was, I just remember they like changed the age to 15 and they were coming to New Jersey and I was like, we gotta go. Yeah, I put on like Jergens Natural Glow. I was orange. It was a nightmare. I'm like 15 years old.
Nice Hollister t-shirt probably.
It was like one of those that you tie. It was like a tank top, but then you tie it. Like another one on top that you tie.
Yeah,
They were
that was
literally,
a vibe.
I like looked 35 at 15, Like it's like, what's going on with her?
Yeah.
That's millennial core right there.
Yeah.
Would you like to sing a little number for us right now?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. Cue the track.
Right, yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, do you ever record? I'm like,
No.
I'm like, nothing aired. You like
No.
somehow got footage of me auditioning at
Yeah.
15 in a gymnasium.
We went back in time, sorry.
I actually am your friends with Simon Cowell, so he.
What a moment. That era of reality TV, like American Idol, like people really were locked in every week. Like, could you imagine being nobody and then being famous off of American Idol within like months?
Oh my gosh. Like unbelievable.
Like, we make fun of it now, but that was like a legitimate like way out because there was no real social media stars, at least at that point.
I mean, yeah. I'm so
That's
jealous
so
of
true.
musicians.
Social media wasn't a thing.
Like that was like the thing to do. I'm just like reality TV was like the first social media get rich quick scheme kind of thing.
I mean, Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood,
Ruben
like
Studdard,
icons for sure.
Fantasia. You didn't do any black people. That was kind of awkward.
Well, Fantasia didn't win. I was listing winners.
I'm just saying,
only,
like they were, but they popped though.
Okay, my bad. Jennifer Hudson,
Okay, I'm just saying, dog. It's too
icon Jennifer Hudson,
all the white
unbelievable actress.
Clay Aiken,
Taylor Hicks.
Clay Aiken's brother.
We actually talked about Sanjay last episode, and Sanjay, shout out. So
yeah. What an
Sure,
icon.
yeah, sure, Sam. Yeah, sure, brother.
all right, whatever.
Date.
Should we?
Oh yeah, so do you have a college date or no?
Yeah, let's jump into our wow, words are good. Let's jump into our main segment called Save the Date, where we're going to give you some dates about your life.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to chat. Jumping off point. Hey, you can get off this ride at any point. Okay.
No, I'm ready for it.
Okay,
You were locked in.
great. This is one I'd be shocked if you knew, but January 26, 2016.
Did I go to like a formal? Oh no, I was in Chicago. I just got into Chicago, right? No, I was still in. Was I in Europe?
You probably at some point in that year, but weren't you in Chicago from like 2013 to 2017 doing Columbia?
I went to school in Florida for 2 years, from
Right.
2013 to 2015. Then moved to Chicago in 2016.
Wow, I already fucked up dates, man. Unbelievable. All right, well, this date is this is just you working a shift at High Vibe Superfood and Juicery.
I'm like, was I fucking Europe?
Santorini?
No, I was making smoothies for yeah.
But so there's a lot of service industry to entertainment pipeline, and you've even talked about like you've been server working in bars.
Yeah.
So like, well, one, you can talk. How was it working at? I mean, you were kind of like an art major in college,
Oh yeah.
and you
Comedy studies?
Yeah.
and you were working.
Thanks for saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comedy studies. So you're an art student working at a juicing place. Did you feel like a total cliche?
Oh, I thought no, for sure. I thought it was a smoke shop when I applied, and then he hired me. It was called High Vibe. I was like,
Yeah, that's
all
for
right.
sure.
I'm gonna sell some bongs. But it was like a juice store. It was such a nightmare. It was honestly the most toxic job I've ever had. Like he would watch us, my boss. He was like very Joe Rogan-esque. Is the best way I can describe him.
Yikes.
And he like was deeply mentally ill, and he would sit outside on an iPad and watch me on the cameras. And I'm like a nail biter, which is disgusting, and I'm self-aware about it. I know it's an issue. I'm gonna fix it, but
Not as weird
He
as
would
people
call me and
watching
be
you
like-
on videos.
exactly, he'd call me and be like, "Get your hands out of your mouth! Like you're the youngest girl working here, and don't think I can't take your job away." And then he'd come in and be like, "I'm so sorry, I lashed out." Like it was nuts. He literally thought like juices could help
Off of juice? All this
Yeah.
off of juice?
off of juice. He was that job was crazy. People were like, people would come in and be like, "What juice can get me pregnant?" Like stuff like that, and I'd just be like, "But I had to say."
And you're like bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof coffee. I was drinking that for sure because I
It's a
got that.
brand of coffee?
It's like Adderall. They mix it with like butter.
Oh my
And so you
God.
mix it with butter and coconut oil, and you're literally
shitting yourself.
No, it doesn't make you poop actually.
Really?
Because it's allegedly toxin free, but it's a scam.
That would really
butter and toxin free.
It's like a cup of it, yeah.
America, baby. Yeah, have this toxin free butter.
Yeah, like coffee and butter, guns and butter. That's crazy as hell. So go ahead.
You go ahead.
College in Chicago. I went to college in a very small town. I think you're Tampa, right? Was the first school? Still kind of a decent sized city. What was it like going to college in these big ass cities? Because I don't know if I would have survived if I was in college in like a decent metropolitan city.
Tampa was kind of like it was not for me. In the school, you felt like you were on like I felt like I was in like boarding school or something. Like it just felt so
right.
I don't know. It wasn't for me. So there was a little bit of city.
That's actually the slogan of
vibes.
Tampa. Tampa, not for me.
Yeah,
That's
it really is.
100% what it is.
It really is. Like if you went into the city, like something wasn't going right. You know, like they were just arresting people left and right. But Chicago, I honestly loved it because at college, like wasn't really for me. So I felt like I was just like an adult living in the city.
Got you.
And I feel like I got all my really like toxic 18, 19-year-old stuff out. Like I had.
Right.
So I loved it because it wasn't so much like you would just go to the South Loop and that's where you like did school and you're just going in a building and like you're not on a campus.
Right.
I think I preferred that more.
It was like an adult living their life who happened to be taking classes.
Exactly. I mean, Columbia's not like a good school by any means, but I didn't really, I was just like, yeah.
Shout out to Columbia, not the Ivy League school.
Not at all. 99% acceptance rate.
Is it really?
Yeah. I went to a school that was the same.
Where did you go to school?
It's called Trinity International. It's in the suburbs of Chicago.
Oh,
so
nice.
The Trinity International.
it was basketball scholarship. That's kind of just
awesome.
why we talked about this. It's like we didn't like our schools, but like we're at least here because we're getting like sports scholarships. Like why are you guys here? Like not getting it? If you're not getting like a theater scholarship or like a
right.
I do think it's interesting because there's a lot of comedians that you talk to that like, oh, like I don't know, I wasn't planning on being a comedian. It kind of like found me.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously we mentioned the class clown stuff. You were performing, like teachers were like, hey, perform stand up for class, and then majoring in comedy studies.
That's insane.
That was insane. That was the craziest move in my life.
How they your parents were like, they were like, that's cool, or you were like, this sounds like a great idea.
My parents really wanted me to go to school, and I was like, I'm not going.
Only
I thought
if I can
college was stupid, and I was like, I'll only go if I can study what I want. And they did help me a lot. So
Right.
That's a position most people aren't in. They helped me with a lot of college. So I was just like, yeah, I'm studying comedy, and what a fucking waste of
What does that curriculum look like?
everything you think. Jumping
bomb.
around with a giant like ball, literally in the middle of like Grant Park, like ruining people's day, like doing performance art. It was a nightmare. I mean, there were some helpful classes, like you learn how to write a script and like, you meet some cool people, but it's exactly what you think it is.
You know, on one side you see like the kind of the predatoriness of like college and like charging people to learn that is kind of fucked up, especially a lot of money. But on the other side of it, I think there's something cool about it where like that's how life should be. Even if something is very peculiar, you should be able to study or spend your time doing something that is like
Things that you love.
right, it's very specific.
100%.
Like I'm joking about, like I'm roasting you about it, but in reality, you ended up doing the shit anyway. So it's like
Totally.
you probably would have also wasted time if you studied finance.
Totally.
Type
And I
shit,
am,
you know?
I am ultimately grateful because it definitely did
Right.
help me. And like, it's like I'm grateful and it was also a waste. It's both, like it was really cool, like you're saying, to like, you meet a ton of people that are like-minded, that,
That's all college is. And
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, you didn't major in improv, so
they really pushed improv. That's the thing. They hated stand-ups. So like it was a very sketch improv curriculum.
Chicago's a big sketch improv city.
Yeah, and so they had this big resistance to stand-up. So like I had a lot of teachers like hated me.
So getting into comedy, did you start immediately getting up at mics in Chicago, or?
Yeah, it was one summer. I was just like, I want to do this. Why am I not doing this? So I just like interned at the comedy bar.
Okay.
And like started working there. And then I just, I just started going to mics every single night. There was like an influx of Irish comedians, only two, but they were my really good friends. Shout out to Mike.
There's a big influx to of
It was
them.
2 of them, but I don't know. It's a big present. So I would just go with them and, we would just
Are
take
you
Mike's.
Irish?
Yeah, actually. I think that's the
Do I know Mike and John? Do I know Mike?
Michael Rice. I think he left before
Okay.
you started, but they're both so funny. Yeah.
So for the listeners, I also started comedy in Chicago.
Literally, Danny was so funny right away. It was actually psycho.
The award show. Oh, really? No. But
He's like,
Everyone would be whispering at Cole's like, who's this guy? He's so funny.
I had no idea. No.
he's a
No.
killer.
Going back to that, did you start going to Cole's? So for people that don't explain Cole's, the people that don't know Cole's, I always explain it, but I feel like I want someone else I want to hear them explain what Cole's is.
It's kind of like if you have a comedy scene, it was sort of like the mic you go to because it has a real audience and it's been happening for so many years. And Cole, who runs the bar, is amazing. Like, he pays the hosts really well. You can get free drinks. Like, it's really just about, like, there's nothing like predatory about it, Like, it's run by amazing hosts. Like, it's just like, which I think it's rare in stand-up to have a space where it's like you're getting paid, you're being respected, and like also everyone gets up. They go till 2 a.m. and like you don't get up early for the most part. It's like you do wait. There are annoying things about it, but it's just like a Chicago like staple.
Right.
And so it's actually really like I didn't go up for like the first year there because I would just go and watch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to like fuck up in front of like these comedians. Looking back, it's silly, but at the time you're like, like, I have to be good here.
Right. For all our listeners that are like for our millions of listeners that are unfamiliar, like open mics largely, like you used to watch a show like Marvelous Miss Maisel or like whatever in Hollywood, and it's like, oh, these open mic and there's all these people, and like in LA, open mics are just
Classrooms.
It's just
Yeah.
10 of the worst people you would, if you made a list of the top 10 people you don't want to be stuck on an elevator with, that is what LA open mics are, and you're paying $5 and there's no audience. And that's what is crazy about Cole's. When I was in Chicago doing a show, I stopped by it, and it's like there's 200 people there that are actively rooting for you to do comedy, that are so excited about it. The comics are supportive of one another. The crowd just thinks it's a regular, like you thought it was a show the first time you went.
Oh, I did, fully, yeah.
And it just seems like a show. So it is rare to have a place that has a crowd that good, that pays, that they then don't try to, like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, bastardize it and be like, okay, now we're going to make this a show and get only real names. And it's an actual space to let creative people be creative. And honestly, this leads me to one of our dates. November, September 25th, 2019.
Is that when I became the host of Cole's?
It is. So you get a write-up. You get a write-up in the Chicago Tribune for becoming the Cole's open mic host, which again, that's how big a deal. But no one cares about open mics. And like, this is like such a staple and such a great environment that the Chicago, like a real publication is doing a write-up on the new host for it. And it's a big deal and you're taking over for Sarah Sherman, aka Sarah Squirm, who's now on SNL. Like, this is like an incubator for like, these are talented people getting write-ups, like doing, as cool as it is that they're letting people do stand-up for the first time, this is also a place where you can see like special performers where it feels like kind of one of a kind.
Yeah, Cole's is great. First place I ever did comedy was Cole's. Did I tell you that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Because I took a class at Second City first.
Who was your teacher?
Some random old white guy. I don't remember his name.
Danny can't differentiate between whites.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. Like blind people like just see like figures, like shapes. I don't see facial features. I just see like outlines.
Have you seen that Black Mirror episode where they only see the outline? It's just like a white blur.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen this guy in my life.
Because he's only ever seen this guy in his life. They're all the same.
Right, yeah. But no, that was the first place I ever did comedy. And I remember like doing it, going up and seeing, I did the Second City class first. So I was like, I had a corporate job, was miserable. Then I was like, I'm gonna take a class and like kind of get into it. And that was like one of the places they said in the class, like, go to Cole's. And first time I went to Cole's, so the people that don't know, you have to sign up at Cole's at like 5. Then you're supposed to technically stay there until the shit
that's
starts.
The part that I hope that's changed.
Right.
I don't think that's fair.
It was like insane. So you would be there
supposed to stay there till when?
9 when the shit starts.
Oh yeah.
So like you could easily get away once the first bartender left for the first shift. Then you could leave at like 8:30 or 8. But technically you were supposed to hang out and like you could only leave to get food and come back to hold your spot, quote unquote, when you signed up at 5:30.
iPhone release.
Yeah,
Facts.
it
So you gotta
really
camp.
is. It's like,
But
yeah.
but the thing is, a lot of people, it started at like 9:30. So if you want to get up the first, say 15 people or so, you had to pull up at that point, or else you'd be there until 1 o'clock.
It goes till super late.
And a lot of people, if you have regular jobs, which a decent amount of people still do in Chicago, you don't want to be, some people didn't give a fuck. But anyways, Coles was just a vibe. Coles was a place where, as a young comedian, you could like build a community with people.
Totally. And it's a great, especially in Chicago, it's a great way to like meet everyone. And everyone knows who you are immediately because it's like people are there, you know?
Right. Well, one thing that the write-up was specifically talking about, and I've seen, obviously you and Danny go way back. We know each other from like seeing each other at shows, but it's not like we know each other well. But I've never seen you do too much of the same set twice, which there's two kind of comics that never do the same set twice. There's like, hey buddy, you should probably work on some jokes. But you're on the opposite end where it's like, what, you are constantly writing, like always writing new material, always having great jokes. And that was the write-up was even talking about. The host of Coles, it's a lot of the same people come back each week. So you kind of need to come with fresh material. So was that something that you just naturally did, like always writing, or was getting that Coles hosting job like what kind of even motivated you to always be workshopping new stuff, always coming prepared with fresh material?
Well, one, thank you for saying that, because I think I'm a hack and I say the same thing every time I get on stage. So it's nice that that's not always the perception, because I'm running these jokes till the end,
It's not the perception. To cut you off again, at Carly's show, the big one, you did a PowerPoint presentation on a night where you got like lost or something. It truly was easily a no cap the top 3 set I've seen in my life, and it was a PowerPoint like that.
Well, the PowerPoint, I will say, PowerPoints do help. They do get a bigger laugh.
No, but
it's like a crutch. But no, thank you for
sure. They help with like middle America, like corny. Like I've seen people do like corny. This was like it was one of one, lightning in a bottle type of set. Yeah. Well, you're not a supportive person, so
Danny's almost at every big one. You guys are both really supportive. I will say.
I'm fueled by the hate
a lot. But yeah, no, I think I always was trying. Also, the thing I will say that like I think is there is such like a hustle culture in comedy that I especially noticed in Chicago, where like you have to commit your whole life to this every single night. And I really bought into that at the time. I'm like in my early 20s and I like don't like even really know who I am. So I'm just like that was my whole life. I was losing all my friends that weren't comedians. Like I really kind of, I don't know, I look back on that and I'm like, I do feel like I have more of a balance now with life. So sometimes I feel like I'm not writing, but at that time comedy was my entire world. And so I was always writing new stuff. And exactly at Coles, like I bombed mostly hosting because you're going up either first. It's good to sometimes go in the middle, but yeah, I'm doing new stuff every week. And like, you guys know, a joke normally isn't going to work like the first or second. You have to kind of try it. So that was something where, but you also notice, like, I'm like, oh, this bit, like when at the beginning of the month, like I didn't have it, but now it's the end of the month, Coles helps you like structure it. So I kind of knew that going in.
And you're getting up for so many comedians. I feel like you probably end up doing an hour of stand-up every night. Damn, you probably do open with 10.
100%,
and even if you switch off, you'll be able to do intro probably 20 comedians a night at least. So even if you do a minute per, it's like you're legitimately doing like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you have to talk to drunk people, and like you're really like.
It was stressful, but anyways, I just watching it was stressful. I don't mean to make this a Coles podcast, but it was a really good place.
Yeah,
Chicago
heavy. Oh
Alex Keenan was fired, like a good person to like start comedy as like a mentor and just like a figure.
100%.
And anyways, Chicago comedy is the best. I think it's the best comedy city in the world.
I completely agree.
We should move back.
I really might. I'm like, if New York doesn't work out, I'm just like to Chicago.
Dominate. Yes, right.
It's because it's real people that go to shows. It's just like real Midwest people that like want to have a good time. They're not like there to like, I need to see a celebrity.
Right. Give us another date, Sam.
Yeah, let's keep these dates cooking. November 7th, 2017. It's comedy related, if that helps.
Is that? Oh, I don't know.
This is the 1-year anniversary show of Afterthought Chicago.
Oh, wow.
A roast show that you ran at the Laugh Factory, right?
Yeah.
The producer of it.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, because I feel like growing up, I like not knowing comedy, I would see some Comedy Central roast, and I just thought like, oh, those are just people getting up and saying that in the moment. Like, but there's an art to roasting. So, like for you, what makes a great roast joke, roast comedian, and even if you just want to talk about what made you want to run a roast show in general?
Yeah, actually, so I ran this show with another comedian, Kristen Fenchek, and she did this show at Penn State in college so we kind of tweaked it a little, but it came from Penn State, and basically it was my favorite thing in the world. I would love to bring it back, but I don't think she does comedy anymore, so I'm not sure if I could, but it's basically we'd have all the comedians on the show on stage, and then for everyone, including the host, like while that comedian is performing, the whole rest of the comedians are writing roast jokes about them on the spot. And then like the other producer, like if I'm hosting it, Kristen would be at the table vetting the bad ones, but then we get 10 good ones. We'd have a chair for them to sit in after their set, and we just like roast the shit out of them. So it was like so fun.
That's
and a
unique.
really great idea for a show. Like my dream would be to bring it back because it was like the best.
So the audience is getting to watch someone do like 5, 10, 15 minutes of their like best jokes, and then they get to hear their peers make fun of them for trying their hardest.
It was a blast.
That's
One
incredible.
thing I'm trying to when I first moved here, I don't want to do no bitch ass shows that's not just stand up. I just want to tell jokes and be me. And one thing I feel like I've embraced the past maybe 6 months or so is like doing shows that aren't just stand up, whether it be characters or stuff like that where you get to roast.
Telling.
Yeah, because it's just like, the campfire shit you do here now is like, I think because that's what makes us better performers too. When you're not just doing your own stand-up stuff, like, because we all want to be in TVs and movies and shit eventually anyways. So like you kind of have to work that muscle, and just telling your own jokes, you kind of don't get to do that for real.
Totally. And you also realize like, oh, I'm funny. I can do this other thing too. You feel good about yourself.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I can do a character if I want. Like I'm not just like joke. And that's why I loved the roast show, because it was like anonymous. So you could be there and like write a really bad joke about someone, and like it either went in or it didn't. And then you hear the ones that like kill, but no, there's no stakes, because you're like, But yeah, it's like, you're like, oh, I can, write a poem or tell a story. And I'm also good at that,
Right. That specifically is a great concept, because the reason why like regular audience members like crowd work is because it's like, oh, they're doing this in the moment. So like they're also seeing the magic of, I mean, that's why people like improv as well. It's like, oh, this is all like on the spot. So they get to see like, wow, not only are these funny roast jokes, like they literally came up with this just now.
Yeah.
If you were roasting me and Danny, let me put you on the spot. What are you coming after me and Danny for if you're roasting us?
One tear
be mean.
goes down my
You're like
eyes.
the nicest person in the world. Come on, be
I
mean.
can be really mean, but it's really hard to do it like publicly.
Oh, really?
Now's your opportunity. Stretch and growth.
I've never seen you be mean, really. That's crazy.
You guys do look like best friends in like a Seth Rogen movie or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Sam, you probably like cheated on your college girlfriend or something.
Nice. I can see that.
Just look like a despicable white man.
But he did
being told off.
But he only like soaked. He didn't actually have sex. He just Mormon cheated. Sorry, why'd I gang up on him like that?
Yeah.
I deserve to be ganged up on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I love that. If you're gonna throw punches, throw them all the way. You're like, the look on your face is like you're in pain being mean to us.
I can't be mean to you guys. I could like write it down and like anonymously do it, but I can't.
Come on, roast Danny one time.
Please don't.
Please don't do that.
I can't.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, guys. I feel like this is like asking me to sing on the spot, My gifts don't come for free.
Get paid, all right? Get paid.
No, my roast muscle is pretty broken. I was also like in my early 20s, so I would say I'm like,
right.
I'm like, what the fuck
You
was
think
wrong
about the
with me?
consequences of like when people say stuff to you.
Well, I'm just like, I was so like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I'm too self-aware now, to like be carelessly mean.
Yeah, when life beats you up, it's like it's hard to be like, I'm gonna just beat somebody else up.
I'm like going prematurely gray. Like I don't have it in me to like put people down anymore.
I think that's cool though. People like in their 20s are gray. It's like I've seen some shit.
Yeah, because I thought I was like, oh, it's like because like my grandma went prematurely gray, and like I was like, it's from like, like it's just a hereditary thing, and the doctor was like, it's from stress only, and I was like, okay. He's like, no, it's only from stress. I was like, it's because I have a lot of hair.
I'm losing my hair, but I'm not gray. I don't have any grays yet. I feel like I'd rather have grays.
That's what they say. Like if you go gray for dudes, like if you go gray early, like you're not gonna lose your hair, basically. Because my hair's thinning a ton too, and I don't have any gray.
I don't think either of you are losing your hair.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh well, how's it feel being blind?
No,
My shit's about gone.
no.
I mean, the back. Trust me. If you put your head, I mean, it's there, but it's nasty in the back. It's like very like if you have
Write some roast jokes about this.
Huh? You look like LeBron. Yeah, for 100%. I definitely
The hairband just keeps.
I'd be hatfishing. I feel like I'm way sexier like this. Get on my type.
Hatfishing. Bro, I told Danny this earlier, but I just got my haircut, and this guy at school was like, new haircut. You look albino. And I was like,
how does the hair do?
I was like, I think that's not okay on a couple different levels, actually, to just be saying that.
We used to roast kids in middle school. Like I was saying, that was like the class clown shit. But I also like the roast show. This is like my hot take, and please fight me if you want to. Any LA comedians, I really want to hurt somebody. The whole roast show culture in LA is like annoying to me. Cause it's like it's too much of it. And it's not that funny most of the time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that much. I've seen like clips online, and I don't know, like a lot of LA comedy.
It feels gimmicky. It feels like, why do we need this? Why do we need this roast joke of this person you like don't know? They're not famous. They don't make anything cool. Like, I'm gonna do a bunch of deep dive research on this like random open mic person, or not even open. I hate saying the word open mic sounds derogatory, but like
I know what you mean, and it's also hard because it's like also the audience doesn't know them. So, like,
right? Who gives a fuck?
You're roasting them. You're like, oh, like your dad's dead, and it's like they're like, whoa,
right?
You know, they're like, oh, like they don't know him.
His dad do be dead though.
Yeah. That's why I keep coming back to afterthoughts, but I'm like, I love that because the audience is watching it. And roast them on their set.
Right.
Everyone's in on it. But it's like, it's like, who are you one? The audience is there like, I'm bored. Just
I hate it.
Yeah.
It legitimately bothers me the amount of roast shows I see for the non-famous people. At least the famous people are like the company's boss. It's like, let's all roast the CEO of this company. And it's like, we fucking hate this dude. Yeah. High key. So let's do it versus this John from fucking sorry, I didn't mean to put it. I know you like people. I don't even know who. Is there a John?
No.
I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. We all know.
Yeah, Toby from Accidental Chaos getting roasted. Can't stand it.
Yeah, the people doing roast shows out here.
No, I agree.
It just bothers me. It's like none of this is funny. None of y'all are really interesting. These jokes are so like hacky. It's like, he's a virgin because he's never fucking like. It's just like, okay, bro. Like, all y'all are ugly.
Yeah, and all the videos on Instagram of those roasts, it's like blurry or shaky.
Yeah,
and it's like, what's going on? I can't even see that.
Right.
Like,
this is ugly.
I can't see his psoriasis.
Right.
It's weird.
Yes. Oh fuck. It legit. Sorry.
Do you want to talk about more obscure venues that the general listeners have no idea about in LA, Danny?
Yeah, this is an inside joke. Look, this podcast is about a very niche 30 people.
Come on. Danny, I tell you time and time again, my Instagram analytics, my demographic is 40-year-old white women in the Midwest. All right,
really?
so please.
Do they hit on you? Do they send you crazy DMs?
They don't. Honestly, pretty much the only DMs I get hitting on me are gay guys. It's like never women. And not that I care either way, but like it is funny. Like there's been times like my TikTok following, like there's been a few videos where like I mentioned having a wife, and there's a bunch of people that are like shocked that like they're like, did you mean husband? Like it's not like boy band where it's like, no, he has a wife because I want it. It's like, like we thought you were 100% gay.
Yeah, people are trying to teach you something about yourself.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I don't think you're.
Well, I mean, in your words, you said if you're 100%, in your words, if you're 100% straight, that means your parents are still together.
Did I say that?
Yeah, that's a Carly Kane tweet.
That's kind of funny.
That is a pretty funny.
That's good.
And apparently accurate because my parents are together. So
they are?
Not to flex, but
mine aren't. But like,
well, Denny,
I'm pretty at least 99.9 straight.
I think a lot. I just think even if you're not gay, all straight guys should be putting stuff up there because that's where your guys' clit is. And I didn't mean to go here, but
is that real? I feel like that's fake.
It's Danny. It's 100% real.
Is it just the dudes or is it women too?
Only the dudes. Ours is in the front. You literally
in the front.
You guys literally have a prostate up there that I just can't believe it. I'm like, all you have to do is just stop thinking anal penetration is gay because it's not. Like live your fucking life. Are you kidding me?
That's a good hashtag. Live your fucking life. Are you
if I had a clit in my butt, things would be up there all the time.
Just shitting all the time. Eating cheese.
I would like.
I mean, you're putting tampons up there in school to get laughs.
Yeah, so maybe I was a little suspect. I knew something was going on.
That's tight.
I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't. That's just a quick PSA. If you're a straight guy, Don't be afraid to get pegged.
Pegged is crazy.
Why?
The term?
No, well, I mean, no, I don't mean to kink shame.
Danny's toxic.
No, I'm
Let's
not.
talk about it.
No,
toxic.
That's a lot. That's a lot of equipment. That's a lot of.
I mean, it is. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily like. I think penetration is not really for me either. So.
But it'd be tough.
Either,
It'd just be tough to go from like little finger.
Yeah, you have to like work your way.
To like,
Yeah.
I'm about to get my back blown out by my girl. That's just a lot for me to mentally get over.
I know, but I just think, little day by day, a little mentally day by day. Eventually,
It's like if you don't like an olive, if you don't like olives, you eat one every day. After 30 days, you'll love olives.
Exactly. That's it. That's
Habit
true.
building. I
Just,
saw a TikTok about it.
Work up the And he's like, and that's how many fingers I'm up to now.
Right. Damn, that's tight. Shout out to y'all though. I just like, do what the fuck you want to do. That's as humans, I think we should encourage people doing what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, and I think it's good to know, and bucket list it. Check back in a couple years, see how you feel about it.
Check back in a couple years.
Don't die without figuring that out.
If I want to get my back blown out,
You don't have to get your back blown out, but just
I don't think I'll ever get my back blown out. I could never do that.
It seems like maybe you might want to.
You're the one bringing it up a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Carly's out here giving giving wisdom, coaching up Danny.
And it doesn't have to be, that far. You can just, little by little.
Bloop, a thumb.
Well,
That's all the last dates we have?
no, we still got some dates. I do want to just touch on though. You couldn't roast this earlier. You're a very agreeable person.
Yep.
Is it true? Okay, these are things that I've heard. You moved to LA because a psychic told you to, and you believed in the tooth fairy until you were 13.
I moved to LA. I had a hard breakup. It was like a quick relationship, and I was like, I gotta get out of this city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's why I moved to LA, which,
Seems like it's working out though. Well, talk. All right. Aside from the booty stuff, let's talk about that. People that are listening, what it takes to go from that plunge of being comfortable and then going somewhere to really for your dreams, like stand up or you're an actor or whatever, entrepreneur. Like, at what point did you feel like I really have to move, even if I don't have a job, like in the business out there or whatever? Like, what was that? Other than the breakups, like you could have moved to Philly or whomever.
Totally. I think it's also like the pandemic just shifted a lot. Like I feel like I would have probably stayed in Chicago a couple more years, and like I always was like, I'm gonna go to New York. But after the pandemic, I was like, I'd love to just be in the sun, and like, why don't? It's just time to do it. And I think it's just like change is so hard, and it's also scary. And like following your dreams, there's literally no guarantee. Like I could be a farmer tomorrow for all I know. Like I really am like slow, like losing attachment to. I'll do it until I don't like it anymore. But I do think it's like if you have those inklings, like you have to kind of trust yourself. And obviously, there's so many things involved, like. Obviously, money is a huge thing. There's certain things, but it's like if you have the means and you can do something for yourself and like you're just afraid of change or like afraid of not like, I think that's the hardest thing. You can't be afraid of change.
Right.
Like if you are having these thoughts and you're like, I want to do it. Oh, I can't. Like you can't have those. Yeah, you might move and it might not work out. But like, what if you never tried? It's like so worth it. I mean, I really loved LA, but I'm like, I do think for stand up, New York is better.
Chicago? But you said you loved LA.
I love LA, but but now that I'm moving to New York, and it's like
mansplaining her own life to her. Oh my gosh, unbelievable!
Am I the toxic person on this podcast now?
I think no, none of you guys. You guys are not toxic.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
No,
there's a lot of
tell Danny he's toxic because every time we get on mic, he tries to say that I would have owned slaves. He always tries to turn. He tries to turn things against me so in the craziest ways. So let me have this. Toxic.
I will say that, I mean, I think that's just like, we're white and...
exactly. See, look, it's a nice East Side LA person on the pod to teach you Westerners
I think
how to be equality.
But I'm not like most whites' energy.
And that's probably why you need to be told things like,
I don't gentrify, no. I just like real estate.
I just like oh, that's great. My wife's a real estate agent, so
no,
gentrification. Never heard of her.
No, I feel you though. Facts. I think a lot of us moved out here. I mean, I think for a lot of us to move to a city with a job like a New York or LA, I think that's super rare. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
to get plucked out of Chicago or whomever. So I like hearing what got people to move to here or New York or when they felt like it was over. Because for me, I didn't have shit out here. I had a regular kind of like 9-to-5 day job when I moved out. But I knew like I could only do so much in Chicago before I feel like it really.
There's a ceiling.
Yeah,
For sure.
and you can keep getting good and good. I think pound for pound, Chicago comedians are better than the comedians out here, but you'll still be broke as fuck and funny as hell.
Yeah, and you can get like stuck there. You can get stuck in like your comfortability,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I'm 53 and I'm still doing stand up at like, it's like also like we're alive. Like,
Ageist.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, it is ageist. What can I say? I'm going gray. I'm 43. It's time to admit it. But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Life is short. Why not move?
Right,
I don't know.
right.
Try it.
No, and if that last thing, sometimes too, you realize how big the world is when you get out of your scope.
Totally.
Like I remember like being in Chicago and not getting Laugh Factory or getting Laugh Factory when I eventually did Laugh Factory Chicago, being like, oh, this is the biggest thing, or being annoyed that I pissed off that I didn't get it, and then you leave and you realize like, I can't even get the Laugh Factory LA from being in Chicago. Like
Totally.
it's not even like transferable for some of this stuff. So you just get so caught up in the rat race of your blocks or your city,
Of course, of your direct like environment and group.
right?
Yeah.
That you forget how important the whole big picture of life is, whether it be specifically stand-up or just life in general. Your loved ones, people you love, relationships, shit like that. You gotta just like, I don't know.
Right.
100%.
It's like I'm my life's in shambles right now, so I'm just thinking about all this stuff. Like, damn, bro, you really kind of have to get outside of yourself to really understand what's the most important thing.
And when there's more of a like when it's like, oh, this has to work out, like that is when you kind of like you're not as stagnant. You take more risks.
Right.
You do the character instead of only doing stand up.
Right.
Like you learn way more, and you kind of like it's like you kind of come into like who you are gonna be. I think the more change that happens.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
More peace signs.
Real estate.
That's what's up. Danny, you did touch my knee when you said hold on. I kind of felt, which Carly is.
Yeah, dog. I'm fucking.
Carly thinks someone touching your knee is one of the greatest feelings of all time when your crush touches your knee. That's a
That
direct
is true.
quote.
Is that a tweet? How'd you remember I was on the tweet?
That's not a tweet. That's just something I know.
Your vibe?
How'd you know that? That's a good.
I keep my ear to the ground.
Was that something I didn't tweet that?
You did not. Your childhood
I'm literally
diary.
like,
We hacked your phone. Yeah.
I guess we'll never. I guess we'll never know.
yeah, no, that is a special feeling. When did I say that? I probably had a mic or something, maybe.
He does the research.
It was
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
did say that there.
Serious.
Yeah, you're good at this. You're really like,
It's scary. It scares me sometimes, to be honest.
yeah.
But this is going to make it.
I just don't like when people interview someone and they're just like,
So what's next?
What's like
you-
someone like you interview someone from SNL. So what's SNL like? Bro, that answer has been answered. And like sure, everyone's unique take on it, but like
Yeah.
let's get some real stuff. This is our last date I have for you, October 6th, 2022.
Is that the big one?
Shout out the big one. Everyone in LA, go to the big one, the best indie show out. No, I do have obscure dates for you, so don't think like you're supposed to know these. But you posted a video that got over 1 million views on social media talking about the difference between Halloween girls and Christmas girls.
That was the dumbest video I've ever made.
But it's genuinely funny.
It genuinely laugh out loud. You know, normally when I think something's funny, I just like exhale a little extra. Like my little sister was like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life," and I think you have such weird observations,
Yeah.
but you put them in such like what's specific is general. Like you make these, and we'll play here, insert video here, so you guys can hear what we're talking about.
As the holidays come up to me, there's like Halloween girls and there's Christmas girls. Halloween girls have been on antidepressants since they hit puberty. Christmas girls are taking Lexapro for the first time in their life at like 25. Halloween girls had one really bad relationship where they were cheated on. They had a major glow up after, but now they're like afraid of commitment, so they like casually date. Christmas girls love monogamy and are always in really healthy relationships. Halloween girls grew up like on Chat Roulette and Omegle and playing Sims. Christmas girls loved playing DDR and watching One Direction YouTube videos, but were way too afraid to ever masturbate. Halloween girls were never religious, but would ironically wear like cross necklaces as a teenager. Christmas Girls, even if they're not that religious anymore, did at one point have a purity ring, even if it was just for the Jonas Brothers. Halloween Girls are bi and Christmas Girls are allies, but want to be engaged to a man if they're not already. Halloween Girls are on ecstasy and Christmas Girls are DDing.
But like, you take these observations that are so overly specific, but somehow me, like a straight white dude from the Midwest, and you making these generalizations about Christmas Girls versus Halloween Girls. I'm like, I relate to all of this, yes.
It's just a legit joke. Like it's a joke in there. Whereas sometimes social media these days is just like me reacting to someone shooting themselves in the foot. Like, you know, there's like a real premise and like a bit.
Yeah. So where did the inspiration for these observations? And two, I think you do a good job of like, you post funny stuff, but like you don't let social media, like you're not, oh, now I have to post every single day. I'll just post when I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which definitely I think it's microdosing and my lunch breaks. I don't microdose on my lunch breaks, but
nice.
I just sit on my lunch break and I'm like, what's on my mind?
Yeah.
And then I just talk. But then it's like, it is sometimes, I don't know, it's like so embarrassing. Posting online is so embarrassing.
Humiliating.
And we have to do it, but it's humiliating. And the stuff that I think is funny is what doesn't do well. But then Christmas Girls versus Halloween Girls, which I'm obviously like people watch it for a reason. it is funny, whatever. But I'm like, this really,
It's so funny.
Well, thank you. But it is just interesting how it's like.
But I think the thing that you can at least stand on like that, like I have been able to build up a social media following, but it's like, okay, people.
Yeah, you are killing it. You are literally like.
You fake. Oh, no, I wasn't.
But
yeah, it's like insane.
But this is what.
Do you have merch yet? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, get your shit together.
I did have a little merch drop, people some stuff. But anyway, but this is like, obviously, I think there's humor in what I do, but like people being a teacher, people like relate to that. So now I'm like, oh, well, now let me just talk about teaching. Whereas like I envy someone like you who you are just like, well, this is my lunch break and this is what's on my mind and I'm going to say it. And people like, I got 1 million views, or you have one that has like 5 million views. That's like, oh, it's so weird going from working in a bar to working in an office and the different like setting. And you're just like freely saying what's funny.
Yeah, but that happens rarely. But I think it's like what you're saying. It's like the way you make your videos, I probably couldn't do. And like that's the beauty of comedy is that we all have our own things that it's like, you know, I'm not going to be able to do well in Danny's process. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have like such a unique voice on stage that it's like, oh, this is like a joke. Like the way you structure things, like we all are kind of different. Like the way you're just able to sit down and talk about your day and make it funny and engaging and relatable. It's like, it's all different. And that's kind of the beauty of it. And it's like, I think that's why there's so much comparison. Cause it's like, I want to be like them. And it's like, be yourself.
Right.
You're not going to be good trying to be this person that's ahead of you.
Right.
Like just do what you're good at.
Yeah,
already did.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess you've proved that with like, there can be some hyper specific thing that relates to like a lot of people find.
Yeah. Like I wish I could do little characters online. Like I'd have so much more fun with that. None of my characters do well. You know, it's just me like talking. So I'm like, whatever, you know, if this is it.
I like the little the wig, I don't know, it's your mom. What's the name of it? That shit's
When
funny.
you visit your mom and it's like, where they're.
Yeah, but everyone's like bored. Next.
Are your parents funny people? Because I know your dad dressed up every Halloween as a conehead deadhead.
Yeah, my dad like thinks it's like in that annoying like straight white guy way where he like thinks he's so fucking funny because he's like an alcoholic and it's like relax, you know. But no, he is funny. But like my mom is naturally funny. Like she'll say
shout
something.
out Patty.
Like, you're so hilarious. And my dad he's funny in the life of the party way where it's like embarrassing as a kid, but all my friends are like, he's the man. And it's like
call him by his first
drunk.
name.
Yeah, he's just like smoking a joint inside. Like,
is this humor or alcoholism?
yeah.
Both.
No, they'll be mad. He's not an alcoholic.
Sorry.
I
Redact.
Why am I whispering? It's a podcast.
It's less offensive.
Isolating them.
No, I told this one joke about my dad and he like found it and he's like,
can you tell us the joke? Or do we not need it out there?
I mean, who cares? Like he's, you know.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, he's not online. It was something about like I was like, oh, like something about like him getting a DUI or something. And it was like fun, like it's funny. It's fine.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're gonna ruin my life. I'm like, no one knows me or you. Like
and you're like, you already ruined mine, so this is just
No, but he is a funny guy. But yeah, my parents are both very funny, for sure. I am actually so much like my dad, so which drives me nuts. But
he's also a big Amy Winehouse stan.
yeah, he's a big music guy. Big music guy.
Shout out to dads. Shout out to
dads,
alcoholism. Shout out to characters too. I like the some random character you did. The boyfriend was like the filter you had.
Oh Yeah.
And like he's like the boyfriend, like a young girlfriend.
You're like
It's
30.
19-year-old girl in your
is
dorm and
funny.
your 30-year-old boyfriend comes over.
Because that was me.
Are you even a real
like
fan?
A 30-year-old.
No.
It was predatory.
He was 27 and I was 19, so it's like
That's still nasty.
Yeah.
it was weird.
Yeah, it's still nasty.
It was definitely weird, but like I don't know, whatever.
People are weird.
Right.
People are weird.
Is that the last date, right?
Yeah.
So we like to end this show. I don't like to just ask like what's next because that's kind of just typical. So I like to ask if it's a time show talking about dates. So what's the time capsule thing that you want to do next that we can look back at and say, oh, I called my shot on this specific thing, and we can kind of put in a little baby bottle, aka an RSS feed, and then republish it and make it a real 6 months or a year from now.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Let
so
us
much.
exploit you.
I'm obsessed with that.
Hey, give us your hopes and dreams and let us commercialize
No,
it.
a little
Capitalism.
manifestation at the end of the pod. I
yeah.
love that. Let me think. What do I want? So, what do I want to accomplish in like a year to 6 months?
I mean, it can be 10 years.
Yeah, whatever
10
time.
years, I'm gonna have goats. No one's gonna know where I am, and I'm gonna like.
That
you
sounds
know,
You're going to be living in Norway.
my hair is gonna be down to my feet. You know. It's
no
gonna be-
shoes,
Yeah,
just vibing.
yeah, probably.
That sounds tough.
But in
Actually
a
sounds
year,
super tough.
yeah, I would just like love to like sell a project. I do you ever feel like it's like you feel silly saying your thing out loud because I'm like this could never happen, but it's like you have to believe
Like a
it
TV
Yeah.
show or a movie or a.
Yeah, like I'm working on a couple of projects right now, and I'm like, if I even just to have someone interested in it, or like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like stand up goals. It's like what a special, like I feel really fulfilled by like I'm really proud of myself. I don't need these big credits. Like I've performed in front of huge audiences. Like that's really all I want out of stand up. But you can't really get that much monetarily out of stand up unless you're like I probably won't make money off of stand up for like a long time.
Right.
But I'm like if I could like sell a project or like have success in something that's not stand up but is comedy related, I think that's the goal for next year.
TV is you get specific. This is psychic.
Well,
Yeah.
I do a little acting if your project gets picked out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, absolutely. You guys, I'm gonna cast you both as gay men in a relationship.
Yeah, The Last of Us season 2.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I heard about the gay stuff. Don't worry,
It was,
but I haven't
it was
seen it.
it was probably one of the best episodes of TV I've seen.
I heard about the gay stuff.
Yeah, I
Sounds
can't
like
wait
all
to
the dudes
watch
in my
it.
high school.
My friend Tyler works on that show.
Oh, really? Tight.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I have famous, successful friends.
Yeah,
That's
he's so
rude.
funny now. He's like, oh, you can't like afford to come. Funny, because he like works for HBO now.
Oh, damn.
The check.
Change.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Tyler. Good
People
man.
change fast.
Good man.
No, good guy.
So getting some. So we're gonna sell something
Yeah,
to somebody that's gonna pay you a lot of money.
yeah.
I love that.
Fire.
It's going to happen. Where can they find you at? Any last things you want to plug before we get out of here?
I would say Instagram.
iCarly Kane.
Yep, that's me. I feel like I don't know where my future will take me right now.
Follow
I
on
keep
TikTok
looking
for it.
directly in the camera.
That's okay.
Please do.
It's
Break
good
that
for
fourth
real.
wall.
Yeah, this is real.
People do that.
Yeah, I do all the time.
We've done it 18 times since we started recording.
I'm trying to look at each one.
Oh, sorry. All right, no. Another episode of Callbacks with Danny and Sam, our fantastic, beautiful, talented friend Carly. This has been great. Thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
guys.
Thanks
Thanks for
for being
having
here.
me. You guys are the best.
Peace.
Two of the best men in stand up right now. I mean, that sounds sarcastic, but it's true.
You heard it here.
It's so hard to find good guys.
You hear that, Dad?
What a fucking episode with our friend Carly Kane.
Follow her immediately. Support her shows. Truly, if I think she's gonna make it big, but like if comedy was just about who's the funniest, she would already be like Netflix specials.
Funniest and also a good hang. I think that's I mean, it's not underrated. A lot of us appreciate a good hang. But I am happy, and I make a lot of jokes about race, but happy to have a diverse group of friends in comedy and really in life too. It's like you can kind of get their perspective and you can hang out and have so much fun that you forget that how different you are.
Right.
Like, I feel like if most of America was like that, where, and I don't mean to be like, oh, there's good people on both sides, because there's not. But in general, if we were, as people were able to say, like, we're kind of a little bit different, but we both like believe in some of the general principles, let's kick it, I think there'd be a lot less annoying shit going on in the world.
Right. What Danny's trying to say is, hey, if everyone was more like me, but just slightly different, it'd be perfect.
No, that's not what
No, I'm messing with you. I agree with you. Like just Carly's the perfect example of, I mean, you grew up in the Midwest, her growing up in the East Coast, you're a black straight man, she's a gay white woman, but there's like still like we're not trying to focus on like kind of like what we're talking about at the top of the episode, like, oh, that's too much internet for the day, where there's just crazy people wanting to like pouring out random stuff. It's like, no, we're just like we relate to each other on enough stuff where we can just enjoy each other's presence,
enjoying each other's company, enjoying the humanity of each other, but also embracing the differences. Like me, you know, we all grew up in the early 2000s where we were all probably problematic in certain ways. But for me, I appreciate now not only existing with people that are different from me, but also embracing that and like understanding where they're coming from more of, you know, beyond just this is my gay friend, but like asking them about the dates they went on, asking them about the funny shit, also roasting them about funny shit, the characteristics of them and the people they date, whatever. Because I think that's what makes people that are different from maybe this typical straight white dude or straight black dude or whatever, it like makes it more inclusive, you know, and it makes our conversations and our ability to hang more inclusive because now I'm not just talking to you about this one stand-up topic, but we can kind of dibble and dabble into, I mean, her talking about booty hole play, it's like, I'm never going to do that. But it's funny, like I was
just thinking my parents are going to listen to this and I'm so uncomfortable. That's what I was thinking though.
Yeah, you know, but it's funny.
Like, I'm glad she brought it out, yeah.
It's funny because it's like in the reality, us living out here in probably one of the more liberal places in the world.
Oh, for sure.
You have friends and meet people that's actually their reality. They like that shit and they talk about it openly. And it's cool. I think as I'm getting older, it's just cool to be around people that are different, that can teach you about shit, even if you would never want to do it. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I would never do that drug. I would never get my back blown out. But it's interesting. It's interesting to like understand the humanity in all of us and have that grace to be like, I'm not doing that shit, but it is funny.
Right. Yeah. You get to know people. And I think that's kind of the inception of this podcast. Like you talk about like, yeah, I mean, we want to advance careers and stuff, but it's cool to talk to people and like their specific backgrounds and their dates and what you can learn from that and finding the humor in it.
Yes.
Make sure to leave a review, subscribe to YouTube, check us out on all platforms. Check out at Danny at Follow Sellers on Instagram, followsellers.com. You can check out me and Samuel Sleeves. Tell your friends about us. Word of mouth is huge. We love you. Bye.